You're listening to Good Reporters Podcast, encouraging you to use your platform and spread the gospel of Jesus Christ, because good reporters bring good news. Hey everybody, what's going on? It's your boy Chris Edwards, aka Young Christ-like on social media, and today is probably going to be one of the most difficult episodes I ever had to shoot. And that's just full on transparency for me right now. I honestly didn't even want to shoot it. I honestly didn't even want to record. I wanted to. Let's get it right. I wanted to, but it was just a little more difficult today for me to actually sit up in front of this camera or sit up in front of this microphone and create right now. My face was on the side of this microphone most of the time while I'm trying to get the words out, but it was difficult for me. And I honestly probably came in here with a different episode. I came in here with 2 different episodes, honestly, and both of those episodes aren't happening today. One of them was about things going on in the world right now and equality and accountability and things that are going on right now. And then another one was just about something I'm actually going to speak about. So I'm not going to spoil that one for you. I'm going to hold on to that one because that's going to come up in the next episode, God willing. But today is the exact opposite. Today I woke up to the news that my previous dean of mine in high school, very close to us, I mean, literally like a brother or uncle or father figure to so many people in our school at AMP, he passed away this morning, and that was completely shocking to me, and I'm sure so many other people. I mean, Facebook is going, crazy, and people are so confused or so shocked. But yeah, this is crazy, and I'm so sorry to hear about this, and all condolences to the family. And I really do, as good reporters, I do pray that we will take this serious. His name was Reyes, great man, and I really pray that you guys will take this time while you're listening to this, or even after, to just stop and pray for him, his family, and everybody who's just dealing with this right now, and people who have just been blessed to know him. So we'll just leave one of that out there for you, because Danny was the man. He was the man. And today I'm gonna hop into that, and we'll talk about it. We'll take a segue. And first off, I just want to be grateful to God for what he's done, because I mean, let's be real. Like, he lived, like he did live life, and he was alive. And so that's a blessing. All in itself, that's a great blessing, because he's been alive, he had a life, he impacted so many people, and his legacy lives on forever. But I also want to thank God for what this means moving forward, and for how his impact has literally shaped the lives of so many young children, becoming now young adults, who will be impacting so many young children, who will then become young adults. I mean, the legacy lives on, and this is the greatest thing that I could say about Danny, man. I mean, he was the realest, he was the coolest, and he honestly, man, he treated us all like we were, his own family, and that was something to be respected always. Never looked down on that. I'll never forget. I mean, he's the reason why I like Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson, basketball player, no look passes. I mean, I remember he came up to us in the cafeteria. No, not in the cafeteria. He came to us outside. We were playing basketball, and he was like, "Hey man, you know who Chris plays like? Chris plays like?" Because he was always making jokes and playing around with us. He's like, Chris plays like? He plays like Magic Johnson. And I was young. I wasn't really into basketball as much at that age just yet, but I was like, you know what? Let me look up how Magic Johnson played, because I know Magic Johnson, but I didn't know how he played. And I looked at it. Dude was coming down, Showtime Lakers, no look pass over the shoulder, coming down behind the back pass, no look. And man, I mean, he was lying to me when he said I play like Magic Johnson, but it made me feel good. It made me feel good. I guess he kind of believed it, but I look at it now, man. I did not play like Magic Johnson. I was pretty trash. But at the same time, he saw that vision in me. He actually pushed me to start looking at that. When I started looking at that, I started falling in love with visualizing basketball and seeing highlights and the way that people created, and watching Showtime type plays and highlights. And then I started coming down the court. It might have got in my head a little bit. I started coming down the court, and I was throwing passes all crazy all over the court. I would throw a no-look pass for no reason. Dude's wide open, and he had missed the pass all the way. But he created a dreamer. He created a dreamer in me, and Magic Johnson is now my favorite basketball player of all time. So that's the type of impact that you could say a person like that would have on you. And so it's just, man, it's sad. It's heartbreaking news, and just absolute rest in peace and condolences to his family. It's crazy. But what I want to say about this is, as believers, as non-believers, as human beings, stuff like this happens. And so right now, the feelings that I had, I mean, I didn't want to, I did not want to record this. Right now, I was really sitting in the house thinking, man, like I don't know. I don't really know. Like I wanted to let people know the reason I'm here, the reason why I'm doing this right now is because I wanted to remind people that this is life. Such is life. And that's the reminder that we should have on such things like a podcast or anything that we're listening to. There's got to be a lesson coming out of it. This is life. Like, you're not going to wake up every morning knowing what's going to happen. God's in control of that. But then sometimes things like this happen. And if we're not careful, it could take like it did to me, it could take everything. It could take your motivation. It could take your discipline. It could take, the work that you were planning to do today. I've been on it. I've been rolling. I've been getting some work done. And then, today, the little schedule I've been setting up for myself, I was just like, man, I don't want to touch that. And we're allowed that. We are allowed that. And we need that time to mourn. We need that time to have grief. We need that time to deal with our emotions. But these things are so unexpected. And so that's kind of like the moral of this story today. It's just unexpected grief, unexpected pain, unexpected things. I know so many people right now could understand that, especially in this time of pandemic and corona and so many things that are happening. People are so shocked, shook, shocked, confused, don't know what's going on. And that's what I've been thinking about. That's what I was thinking about when I heard about this. I'm like, man, like this is the most surprising news that I've had in a while. Um, and and no matter what, unless somebody's gonna go, death is always surprising. And so today we could talk about that. We could talk about death. We can talk about whatever's on my mind. Because right now my mind is scrambled, and I don't know how I've even truly dealt with it emotionally yet. But he's no longer here. And that's the truth. And he left a legacy, but that that death, which is separation, described as separation, um, means that we could no longer see him, right? It means that he's no longer here. He can no longer impart new words of wisdom onto us, but the legacy of things he's imparted has happened already. And I was thinking about this the other day. I was talking with my friends, and we were talking about I was talking about my group of friends, my church friends, and we were all talking about you should join. Actually, you guys should join. I'll probably leave a link in the description for this. But we have our young adult meetings every 2 weeks for my church, and the conversations are great. And lately, we've been talking about purpose and just career. Are they the same? Can you have a purpose? That's your career. Does your purpose impact your career? And if you're interested in that, I mean, man, please come down. We would love to have you. The conversations get so deep. There's like nothing that you can, nobody's recording it. It's not getting outside. It's just young adults having a great conversation. But one thing I've been thinking about consistently is that portion of purpose in life. And it's like, your purpose, there's so many debates we were thinking about. You could have so many different purposes. Like some people's purpose could be to be a mom. Some people's purpose could be, to be a speaker. Some people's purpose could be simply just to live for a short period of time. And this is the part that I thought about. Because as believers, I know sometimes we can get to that mindset, right? Like we're alive, God blessed us. Glory to God that we have life. God now bless everybody around us. And if somebody dies, that's not of God. Or somebody passes away, that's not of God, right? Like that's not supposed to happen. Or my parents, my family, my brother, my sibling, my sister was supposed to live a long life because we believe in God, and so that's how it's supposed to go. The reality is no, right? Like the reality is no. And what I was thinking about, and this is even crazier, some people, and it sounds crazy, and I mean, people could debate this or you could think about it, but this is what I've noticed. Like some people literally have a purpose to be born to die. Like that's not, nah, we're not talking about Danny here. This is just something that we're like moving over. But I'm talking about like born that moment, didn't even make it into adulthood, didn't even make it past being an infant, didn't even make it past the birth. Because the purpose in that instance can be very can be something important down the line for that very person and people around them. Uh, am I saying this is biblical? Oh no, God hasn't said this in the Bible, but just take it for a second and take some time and think. sometimes we get so mad at God, we get so frustrated, we get so angry, and we're just like, man, like this person was supposed to live a longer life, and that's not quite true. To say something like that would only almost mean that we know what God's plan is, and sometimes some people are planned not to live until 100. That's not biblical that everyone will live till 100. So sometimes it's not the case. But some people, like I said, believe it or not, could be it could be a portion in which they're almost born to not live very long, or born for something ridiculously tragic to happen, and on earth this is crazy to us. This throws our mind off, and we're just like, this makes no sense, and God, you should have never done this. But sometimes if we pay attention to the spiritual side of it, and this is the encouragement that I have for myself, for you, and for others, this is the side that I always think about. If you take a second, sometimes the toughest situations that we've been through, that we had to deal with, the crazy, tough ones, is what brings us together and what brings us closer to our purpose ultimately. And so it's so weird how so many people's purposes are intertwined, and nobody realized that maybe that abortion you just had, you thought that, oh my gosh, like this is the worst thing that could have happened to me. Why would this ever happen? And it pushes you into purpose where now you become a person who speaks against abortions, and teach people how abortions could ruin lives, and help get people, nurse them back to health, and help become a speaker, because it wouldn't have impacted you like that if it really didn't happen to you and you didn't feel it, or so that very purpose, you thought, oh no, my baby should have lived to be 100. But then again, that very purpose might have been for that. And is it always fair? Maybe not. I mean, is it always fair? Like, not fear scared, but fear for us, maybe not in our own human eyes, but the purpose behind things is so deep. And so that is, I mean, I don't know where that came from. Holy Spirit, thank you so much, because that just flew out, and there was just some passion in there. But that is what I think about, man. Like, that purpose. It's like sometimes we get into our minds, I guess just because we're saved, or I guess just because we're good people, or I guess just because, that it was never supposed to happen to us, or, our purpose wasn't served. And trust and believe that even a person like Danny, who, man, like I said, he taught me so many little things that he didn't even realize, and helped so many little ways and so many people, that his purpose has been fulfilled. As long as he's not here, his purpose has been fulfilled. In our selfish heart and my selfish heart, you're like, man, going too soon. Wish he was here longer. But that man taught me so many things that I'll take on to my kids. And one day I'm going to tell somebody that they play like Magic Johnson. And God willing, it pushes them into the love of basketball like it did for me. Um, Man, like, like this is what I kind of just, like, I don't know, I'm just kind of getting my thoughts out right now, but this is what I came to today. Like, there's unexpected things that are gonna happen today. The podcast episode I was trying to come out with was not this, but things are gonna be unexpected, and I felt I would be doing a disservice. And thank you for my girlfriend as well, because I thought I would be doing a disservice, and she also thought it would be a disservice to kind of be like, let's just sit out, or just not make this episode because things are tough and you don't feel it as much right now. If anything, this is the time we probably should, because there's so many people who need the real content, right? There's so many people who are going through this very thing right now. So many people who just lost somebody. There's so many people who are thinking about suicide. There's so many people who are thinking like, man, like I lost my job today and things have gotten tougher. And it would be a disservice for me to get in front of a camera and not tell you what's real, or get in front of a camera and had to put this smile on, like Mickey D's or something like that, and just create the facade that we as believers, or we as just human beings, don't deal with unexpected things, and sometimes do irrational things, or sometimes go astray, or sometimes just don't know how to deal with it. But today, I mean, I just want to be in a reminder that that's where I'm at right now, man. And if it was up to me, I would do it again. Of course, I would do this episode again. But if it was up to emotion, I would never do it. I wouldn't ever do it. I would just sit out, and I'd be like, you know what, I'm gonna let this one go. But I'm grateful to people in my corner. I'm grateful to God for pushing me here. And I really hope that today I'm looking directly into this camera, and I'm talking directly into this microphone. I hope that you can hear me um, today, that we need everything that happens in our lives. Nothing is destined or purpose the way that we really truly believe it. It only happens as we continue to go. But encouragement to you today, keep pushing and keep kicking in the midst of everything. Whatever just happened, or whatever is to happen. This is a message for you. This is a message for me. God is not blind to it, right? God is not blind to it. Um, let's keep on pushing towards that. Let's keep on pushing and keep on letting him, like, it's starting to feel a little personal here. Like, let's keep on pushing and let God decide what the future is supposed to look like for us, and let the situations that happen to us, our trials and our tribulations that happen to us, let them be a part of our story and let them help somebody else. So I say that to you today. I also want to say, just don't forget to give people their roses, man, while they're alive. This is what it is. This sweater right here I have on, is roses on the sleeve, and it'll be a part of the picture. I'll find a way to put it in there. But there's roses on the sleeve, and it's just a reminder to me that you got to give people their roses while they're alive. Um, it's we could always get, like, right now I'm giving Danny his while he's not here as well. But it's always a blessing to give people their roses while they're alive, because you never know. You don't know what the purpose is and what's gonna happen tomorrow. So if this could encourage you, man, I mean, hit somebody up today. Hit somebody up today that's been important to you. Hit some people up today that's been important to you, and remind them how great they are. Remind them how much you've appreciated them now, today. Take that time and take that opportunity to give people their roses while they're still alive, because you just never know. It sounds so cliche, but it's so true. Like, I don't care how cliche this one sounds. I'm just gonna go ahead and do it. Just reach out to some people. So I give you that challenge today, to reach out to some people, even someone. Better yet, reach out to somebody. Reach out to some people that you really care and appreciate, have care for and appreciate. But also reach out to some people that you may not have had the greatest things with, because you don't want to wait until later on, when things go down and things aren't good, and they wind up not around anymore, and you feel like you wish you would have gave them their roses. Don't take that chance. Don't take that opportunity, and don't harbor hate and malice in your heart for those kind of things. So today I just want to remind you guys, reach out to somebody, spread that love, spread the good news as well. And yeah, don't forget to be a good reporter, because good reporters bring good news. God bless y'all.